I keep telling myself I'm going to stop buying third-party ASL. And then LFT 15 came along. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Pull me back in indeed. Just like Al Pacino in The Godfather. I just can't give up my addiction to ASL, I guess. Here we have LFT number 15, directly in the mail from Derek Ritter from Ritterkrieg. Extremely fast shipping. Thank you, Derek. Um, I don't have any, I don't think I have any of the other LFT magazines. This is number 15. I don't think I've ordered it. This is the first one, and the reason that I ordered it and it pulled me back in is because it has 8 new desert maps. And on Game Squad, I saw previews of all the maps, and they looked very, very interesting. Completely different desert maps from the ones that are included in the old multi-man publishing versions, which are essentially barren desert, and you start slapping overlays on to create your scenarios. These are more a lot of defined terrain on them, and I think inside, let's see, DTO and Prisoners Explained. I think they try to simplify DTO in the magazine section, but we'll get into that in a bit. But that's what intrigued me. 8 new desert maps, a bunch of desert type scenarios, maybe simplifying deserts a little bit, and a bunch of new terrains and interesting looking boards for this. I think it was $99 from Ritterkrieg, if I remember correctly. Um, no real back cover, just the last scenario here, which is British and French Vichy. And you can see kind of a, excuse me, a preview of the desert boards here. They look really cool. So let's tear into it. Not literally, but we'll cut into it very carefully. And we'll see what we have in a sec here. All right, let's take a look at the order it came out of the package. Here's the cover. Let's flip to the back. Speaking of Ritterkrieg, here's an ad for Ritterkrieg. Here's his URL. Free shipping inside the US. I do believe he charges a minimum of $4 these days for free. $4 is essentially free in today's insane shipping charges. Let's go through real quick. I'm not going to dwell on every page. Let's look at the table of contents. Looks like there's about 12 to 14 articles, and a lot of them are the first section, I would say, is kind of historical in nature. I mean, there's some outliers like 10 questions for Steve Swan and Cosmo 23, but this middle section is there's a lot of historical, and then it gets into the meat of this LFT 15, which is the desert rules and explaining some of the desert rules and going over the map design. And I'll show the maps here at the end, or no, after this I'll show the maps, then I'll do this scenarios. They go over some product stuff. Um, Advancing Fire Productions, they have a new product out, the Tournament Directors Pack. Scott and I were able to play test one of the scenarios. It was the best defense. I forget what number it was. The number changed between the time we play tested it and when it was included in the pack, but we play tested one of the scenarios. We were sent two to play test. We didn't have time to test both of them. We were able to test one. Very nice, as usual. LFT's production quality is high. Full color, semi-gloss, baked goods. Can't beat that. 10 questions for Steve Swan. There's that article. Cosmo 23, or sorry, 33. Well, that's interesting. in the I found a typo in the index contents. It says Kozlo 23, and here it says Kozlo 33, but here it says the 23rd edition. So that I think that's a typo. I think it is a 23rd edition. I think that 33 is wrong. But anyway, just me and my proofreading. Um, at the table of champions in the age of COVID, comic I've not read. Now here we get into some of the historical articles. It looks like, which is good for the history buffs. I read history a little bit on the side. I don't read. I'm not a huge history buff. World War II. I'm a mild history buff. I would say a lot of the stuff I learned about World War II I've learned from playing Advanced Squad Leader and various other World War II games over the decades. Um, I'm more of a gamer first and a historian second, I would say. But there's a lot of historical content in here about the actions in North Africa. Prisoners. I think they talk about prisoners in the desert, or maybe prisoners in general. Obviously, I have not read this magazine. I just opened it. More prisoners. Here we get into the map concept, and you can see here a preview of what these desert maps look like. And this probably goes into explanation of their, I guess, design methodology of why they made the boards the way they look. And then they get into left out in the sun too long. I think they kind of simplify, um, try to simplify and boil down the some of the desert rules. And it's kind of interesting. The article starts out here. There are very few players who play DTO, and this theater of operations is seldom represented in our hobby. Conventions and tournaments. That is true. It's not a theater that's played very often. Even PTO, from what I see, people posting AARs and what they played last weekend or what have you. Even PTO seems to be in the minority, and I like PTO a lot. But DTO, I hardly ever see anyone talking or posting about playing DTO scenarios. Here they introduce, yeah, they're boiling down some of the rules and trying to make them a little more simple for you. And then I think they go into give you some tactical advice. Yeah, then they get into arid desert terrain that specifically on these boards, different types of terrain, and then how it applies to routing, gun concealment, etc. Different types of the terrain on the boards. I wonder what this is. This is historical special rules apply to all scenarios in the Rising Star Falling Cross Russian Civil War in Manchuria, Siberia, and Outer Mongolia scenario pack, which I do not have. I think some more maybe historical. Few adverts at the end, some night rules, night and desert rules here at the end. I think that's pretty much it for the magazine portion. Pictures at the end, bibliography, and Derek Ritter Krieg again. All right, let's look at the map boards. I have so much crap on my desk. I'm just gonna pull them. I don't know if these are in the correct order. I'm just gonna pull them out the way they're stacked up. No, they're in a weird order. Anyway, this is LFT 9, board 9. That's that's cool. It's kind of a it's kind of a desert village. And I didn't pay attention when I was flipping through the magazine to know what terrain is what. Like some kind of different types of field. I I don't know what this is. That's some kind of probably religious temple, cactus hedge or something. Yeah, lot of new terrain symbols on these maps, but it's cool. Cool desert board. Looks like orchard here, standard orchard. So that's LFT9. I need to clean up the ASL Academy studio. It's getting to be a mess. This is LFT7. Like we have another small village up on a hill. Probably standard. This looks like standard brush, crag. Again, not sure what this is here. Maybe, I don't know, scrub or something. LFT7. As you can see, these are vastly different from the MMP, the old ASL type of boards. This is LFT5, and I imagine you might be able to use these as standard ASL boards, right? You just maybe you could assume these are open ground, and again, whatever this is, and this is, you might be able to use these as kind of standard boards to spice up different scenarios. Okay, LFT5. LFT10. This one is interesting. I saw it posted on Game Squad. It's kind of has desert fading into this green, typical what we'd see as open ground. And then maybe in the magazine they go into the philosophy of what this actually represents and why they did it. But this is a cool, kind of a cool board, cool concept that I haven't seen in a board before. LFT10. Got a few hills, few buildings. This is board LFT3. This must be some kind of depression, like a -1 elevation. Lots of brush. So just one road going down the center. Yeah, there's no roads on the ends here, which you would typically see. No roads. Maybe I didn't notice that before. Yeah, it looks like all the roads are, central to the map boards. Where on ASL, you also had kind of roads coming in this way. So the geomorphic, these are a little bit different geomorphically, I guess, than the standard MMP type boards as far as road alignment and that kind of thing. So that's LFT3. There's 8 of them here. Got 3 left. LFT6. Hill. Bunch of hill. Level 1, 2, 3 hill. Here we got the roads. Now we got the roads coming in on both sides and the top and bottom. But again, none on the kind of in the center here on each side. LFT6. LFT4. There is a lot of brush on these boards, some of these boards. No elevation here. Okay, LFT4. One more. Yep, one more. LFT2, I'm guessing. 8. Bunch of hills. No buildings at all. And no, again, no. Oh, there's one side road on this side, but none on this side. LFT8. Very cool desert boards. I like these designs. Yeah. Now let's take a look at the scenarios. What do we have? Got I don't know if it said how many scenarios were in this. A bunch of scenarios. Okay, I don't know how many there are exactly, but there is a bunch of scenarios. In no particular order. I don't know if these are in order, any kind of order. Bear Valley. What? This is interesting. Bear Valley, Arizona, 1918. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Battle of Bear Valley was a small engagement fought in 1918 between a band of Yak. Oh God, here I am butchering names again. Yaquis, an attachment. I assume that is an Indian tribe. Yeah, and I'm probably butchering the name. I did not expect to see this in an ASL product. That's for sure. Yeah, Native Americans. Yes, Indian tribe. And I don't know anything about this, but I was not expecting to see this in this scenario pack, in this magazine pack. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Trust us, Gobi Desert, Mongolia, Chinese Mongolians. I have a feeling this is going to be a very eclectic mix of scenarios from just the beginning of it. And here you can see when you lay the boards out what they might look like, if you can see that in the video. Genghis Khan lives, Gobi Desert again. Chinese versus White Russians. No post here. Japanese Manchukuan. Help me with the pronunciations, people, please. Versus Russians. Toradasu. Mongolian, Japanese. Yeah, these are definitely eclectic. 1935, 1936, 1921, 1919. Wow. There's some interesting stuff here. Continuation of some stuff. The Russians are coming. 1936. Nationalist Republican. In Spain. Salvation at the Temple. Japanese Red Chinese, 1937. Pink Hill. Now, I think there are a few standard ASL scenarios that don't take place on these new desert boards. I maybe I saw a couple here. Maybe not. Maybe they're coming. Salvation Temple. Yeah, Pink Hill, New Zealand, German, 1941. On Crete, here's your standard ASL fare that you'd kind of expect here. Kind of a typical scenario. The first few were not typical. Gardens of Heaven. Here we go. Here's some normal. Well, we got a desert board butted up against some of the standard ASL type boards. In Lebanon, Australian and French Vichy. Road to Marjayon, Lebanon. British and Vichy. Vichy Strikes Back, 1941. The Arab Legion, British, French Vichy again. Last Fire Mission, standard board. Yeah, April 1945. German Russian. German British. 1943 Operation Scipio. You scenario designers are driving me crazy with your names. Fonduke Express, Tunisia, 1943. German, American, British. It's funny. I use this the same image as the heading on the ASLplayers.net forum. That's interesting. Haka at I'm gonna get you guys. Haka Atakruna. I assume that's some kind of Maori saying. Yeah, New Zealand. Axis versus New Zealand. Picking olives. And please, Leave your criticism for my pronunciations in the comments below. I can take it. First skirmish, St. Joseph's Farm, November 1942. German American. Continuations here. Engineer Hill. Ah, yeah, the Attu Island in the Aleutian Islands. American Japanese. I've always been interested in that. And you don't see a lot of scenarios of what happened there, so that's cool to see that. Wild Men from Texas. Germans, Americans. And lastly, American German on a standard ASL board, board 12. Oh, one more. It goes from 293 to 325. There must have been something published in between in another pack or magazine that used those numbers. Hopefully there's not something missing here, but that's the way it jumps. Vitamin B, Axis versus British. Looks like we have some kind of boat landing here, 1945. Okay, that's it for LFT number 15. There, like I said, there are a lot of scenarios in there that I was not expecting to see. A lot of interesting and eclectic scenarios that should keep players entertained for quite some time. I have way more ASL than I can play, but I'm an addict, so here we have with LFT 15, another scouting report in the bag, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, and please don't go too hard on me with the pronunciations. See you next time.